Hello once again, race fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour here on the Grueling Truth Where Legends Speak. I'm, once again, Alex Gray here with Michael Klein, experiencing our fun quarantining. However, we may have some good news for you all. NASCAR just released a tentative schedule, and they will look like NASCAR is going to return to racing in mid-May. So obviously a lot of drivers are hyped, and just as a clarification, there will be no spectators. There will be no fans in attendance because, unfortunately, that's just how things have to be for a while. So NASCAR will return officially, as of right now, Sunday, May 17th at 3:30 p.m. on Fox at Darlington. So they will run 2 Cup races at Darlington, one on Sunday, May 17th, and Wednesday, May 20th. The May 20th race will be a night race on FS1. And then Tuesday, May 19th will be the Xfinity Series, so the other 2 circuits will also be returning. And then Charlotte, they'll have the 600 Sunday, May 24th. And then, because I know, they're going to run 2 races. They're going to run like a 600-miler and a 310-miler. And then Monday the 25th is the Xfinity Series. Tuesday, May 26th, the Trucks. And Wednesday, May 27th, Cup. Also been clarified, all these races except the 600 will not have qualifying. And that also for every race, no practice either. So, again, this is how things have to be for a while. Obviously, Michael, it's unfortunately no fans for a while, but it's good to have racing back. What are your thoughts on all this?
Rebel 400, baby, let's go! Finally brought that one back.
Yeah.
They don't have to do it this way, but we got it back. Yeah, I like what NASCAR is doing with this right now. I mean, I've always loved Darlington. It's been one of my favorite tracks on the schedule, so just having them coming back here for another race weekend, really race week, because they got 2, one midweek race, so definitely looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch the midweek one, just because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be working. I don't know. I'll see if I can get something worked out. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to just racing coming back. So I know NASCAR is one of the first sports. Yes, NASCAR is a sport. Change our minds. To announce that they're coming back. So I know Major League Baseball, obviously, they're looking to get back around June. NBA say you're not playing their games at Disney World. Too bad Walt Disney World Speedway's gone. What else? PGA, I know they announced they're going to be back in June. UFC's going to be back soon. IndyCar and PGA with targeted starts in early June, according to Adam Stern. Also posting that different teams, Roush Fenway, Stewart-Haas Racing, will bring back essential employees to prepare for the restart of the 2020 Cup season. Let's see. There was a few more dates that they had put that I wanted to find, and I haven't found it, so I can actually, go over it more. But, so NASCAR is officially coming back in May. And May 17th, that's only, let me see here, 1, 2, that's 3 weeks away, if not less.
Less than 3 weeks?
Yeah, less than 3 weeks away. So I know North Carolina has also said that they're pretty much allowing the teams to get back to work as well. Also following Bob Pockrass, he has said All-Star race postponed. NASCAR says it doesn't expect any additional races to have to be realigned for Cup. So expect races to be at tracks that happen. A couple more in Trucks and Xfinity could be realigned. Live pits spots for all stops for all three National Series. They intend to keep the playoff calendar the way it is. NASCAR says it is decided what track to lose races. They will need to talk to people and the officials in those locations. Will be announced before Darlington. He's also said that. So again, NASCAR also taking the necessary precautions needed. I think they're going to try. I think I just saw something. They're going to try and get every race in possible. They still plan on getting in 36 Cup events with playoffs, so that's going to be interesting. And, of course, before we started, there was a few rumblings about potentially a track or two not going to host a race this year, potentially.
I just really hope it doesn't come to that. I just really hope it's, race tracks with 2 dates that lose one of them. I really don't want to see any track, lose their sole race for the season.
Yeah, I would really hate it for those tracks, especially that's what brings in, revenue for that track in that area. I knew there was a bit of an extended, here we go. So a little bit extended after that. May 17th is a 400-miler at Darlington. May 20th is a 310-miler. The 24th is the 600. The 27th is the Charlotte 310. Can they still sponsor some of those races? Wednesday, May 27th. I already said that. Sunday, May 31st is Martinsville. So Martinsville is still on the schedule. Wednesday, June 3rd, they will go to Bristol. Sunday, June 7th at Atlanta. Sunday, June 14th at Miami. That's going to be a hot one. They better run that under the lights. So anyway, that is right now NASCAR's tentative schedule of returning. Once again, there will be no spectators, but it is a good sign, and hopefully things will go well and there won't be any issues, because I know there has been concerns about what if there's another wave of the virus. Hopefully that it won't be the case. But again, it's going to be that's probably our biggest story.
Were the rest of those confirmed?
What's that?
Were the rest of those confirmed, or I thought that was just something going around?
I know it was talked about and posted by certain places. I don't know if those dates for Martinsville and beyond have actually been confirmed. They may run Darlington and Charlotte and then maybe reassess what they want to do. They may confirm this before Darlington as well. So, I would say that was probably tentative, but it's not been confirmed for Martinsville, Bristol, Atlanta, and Miami. So, because I know they kind of really didn't mention those races just yet.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up, though. So, a lot of drivers just tweeting their excitement, and they're all happy to get back to work, hopefully soon. Let's see here. All right. I think with that part, that pretty much clears things up. Although NASCAR is now trending on Twitter because of it. So,
well, good.
Yeah. I actually saw one tweet from somebody that says, I haven't watched a NASCAR race before, but if it gives me something to watch during this time, then I'm down. So this could be good for NASCAR potentially if they can get a lot of people to watch these races and be good for TV ratings and could perhaps attract new fans. I also stumbled upon Jeff Gluck posting an article on The Athletic called The Last Normal Race Weekend, talking about the Phoenix race before everything had happened. So, but I'm still a believer that we will get back to a point where we can have full packed crowds once again, but it's just going to be a while. Keep your fingers crossed. This is what things look like for right now. We are hoping that Ryan Vargas will join us here in a little bit. Right now it's question mark right now, so hopefully he'll join us.
Yeah, I just sent you a text. Yeah, it looks like he just got off iRacing I saw on Twitter, and he was on when I was on just a little bit ago.
Okay.
Because, it lets you know, because, I have him as a friend on there, so it lets you know who I was racing. So,
okay.
So hopefully he'll check his messages and join us, but it is easy to get totally caught up in iRacing and just forget everything going on.
It's all good. Plus,
I've just about missed work a couple times.
Mm-hmm. And plus, he's been hosting the E-Truck Series Night in America and all those fun events that he's helped put together, which I think is really cool. So I think iRacing has been really influential during this time as well. So obviously, we all are aware of the what happened with Kyle Larson. Chip Ganassi has announced the replacement for him, and kind of a shocker with this one. Matt Kenseth is coming out of semi-retirement to drive the 42 for the rest of 2020. So Matt Kenseth is coming back. And also, fun fact, for the first time since 2005, Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth will be teammates once again. So it's been 15 years since these two have been teammates. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Kenseth does. He has been granted a playoff waiver, so he will be able to compete for a championship. How do you think Matt Kenseth's going to do with this return with Chip Ganassi?
I think he'll do good. He's with a good team, and he's definitely still got some fire left in him. So,
oh yeah,
I think he'll do pretty good.
I agree. I think I always believed if Kenseth got back in the car right now, he could be a contender. Even in 2017, his last year at JGR, he ran. Even though he won that one race late in the season, he was still pretty solid. So, super thrilled he's back, and I'm really interested to see how he does. Another driver has also been cleared, not only granted a playoff waiver, he has been cleared, and I'm talking about Ryan Newman. So Ryan Newman is cleared. He will be back in the 6 for when NASCAR returns on May 17th. So he didn't miss that many races, which is good. And obviously, once again, just very thankful that he was okay after that horrific incident in Daytona. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll do in that 6 car.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to see him back behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Especially a driver that, you and I pretty much both grew up watching, who I think is a very talented driver, very tough driver, and I think he'll come back and make some noise. He brought that car into the playoffs, and I think there could be a good chance he does that here this season. Let's see here. Okay, I'm also on Twitter, kind of seeing if there's any more updates from some of the media guys. Chris Knight just tweeted this. Texas Motor Speedway President Eddie Gossage tells WFAA TV that he expects the postponed March NASCAR weekend at Texas to be ran, quote, later in the summer.
Yeah, I just saw that one too.
Yeah, that could be a hot one, so I'd run that under the lights if I were you. So, let me see here. Okay. Yeah, once again, I'm just kind of strolling through and seeing what's going on here. So let me see here. We talked about NASCAR returning. We talked about Kenseth and Newman. Was there anything I was missing?
I don't really think so.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just making sure. So, really, a lot of good news, a lot of positive stuff, which is good. So, again, it's a good first step for NASCAR to return, and obviously, I know NASCAR will make the right decisions moving forward. Praying that no tracks lose their dates. I would hate that. And, yeah, we'll see how this all goes. Let's see. There's another post from Michael Carey. Some more info was released today from a media call with Steve O'Donnell. Live pit stops for all races at Charlotte and Darlington. NASCAR is eyeing tracks that are drivable from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Some tracks will lose races. NASCAR will decide that. The intent is to keep playoff races normal.
All right, so hopefully that's good news for us, because I think Kentucky would be considered drivable.
Yeah, I've driven when I was a kid. Me and my dad, we drove to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 race weekend, 2006, and that was about 9 hours. So I think it's doable. Even though I'm pretty sure half the people are like, "Oh, Kentucky's a bad track." I'm like, no. So I don't know. I'm just hopeful that things work out well.
Oh my God! Have you seen Joey Logano's Instagram?
I have not seen his Instagram. What's going on there?
Just go to it, because I really can't explain it.
Oh God. Okay, let me see this. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently he's having another kid.
Oh, he's having another kid?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but just get into it, because obviously...
Joey, what are you doing?
God. What in the hell are we looking at?
That is a cursed image, if I do say so myself. I don't know how to describe it. I'm assuming that he must have obviously put something in his clothes to make it look like this, but it's Logano and just a pregnant body right behind the tree. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Apparently his wife is expecting another kid.
Okay. Well, congratulations to them, obviously. It's definitely different. Oh, my God. Okay. The Pro Invitational Series. That was the one thing I was missing. They ran it at Talladega this past weekend, and Alex Bowman ended up winning, but NASCAR jokingly gave his dog Finn Bowman the actual win because Alex Bowman has been an absolute character on Twitter during these races, and I absolutely love it. And
people say he doesn't have a personality.
Oh yeah, he's funny. Jeff Gordon also ran in the race and literally running alongside Clint Boyer, and it was the funniest thing I have ever seen. Because early on, Jeff Gordon is actually having the time of his life doing iRacing, and then he got caught up in that big wreck where his car flew into the fence. So, and poor Clint Boyer had the lead, and right as that happened, his car blows an engine, and he's out. And I swear, I laughed so hard with Boyer because I honestly think he is perfect for the booth. He is that ultimate Darrell Waltrip replacement, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just funny hearing him go, because apparently, they got put in two rigs in the same room, obviously socially distant. And there was at one point where Boyer looked at Gordon like, "Come on, man, what are you doing?" So it was pretty comical, if you ask me. Just obviously they're all having fun. I think that's what's important, is that they're having fun, especially during this time. So it looks like Jeff Gluck is also live tweeting some updates. NASCAR Steve O'Donnell says the decision has been made on which tracks will lose races. Okay, I've already covered that part. Let me see here. Jenna Fryer, Darlington will have a virtual invocation, a virtual national anthem, and a virtual starting the engines. So I guess they might be doing something similar to what the Pro Invitational Series has done. Let's see. Jeff Glock, NASCAR needs to limit to essential personnel. It won't be open to all media. Sounds like there may be a small pool of reporters who rotate in, but access will be extremely limited for health reasons, even to those who go. So I doubt it'll get to be at many, if any, at all. Okay, that's probably important for two of us here moving forward. So.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. If all goes well, Steve O'Donnell says Pocono will be the first Saturday-Sunday Cup doubleheader, but there could be a few others as the season goes on. I'm also curious with this because they want to change up the schedule for next year. And I think they wanted to use this year as a testing ground. And they kind of haven't been able to, and maybe they kind of will be able to still. So I'm intrigued to see, what next year's schedule will look like, despite the fact that, NASCAR hasn't had much to work with. I honestly think the next few years, I think the schedules will look different every year just to see what works. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. We haven't really heard anything regarding the 2021 schedule, and of course, the next-gen car has been pushed back to 2022, which I think is an incredibly smart decision. So, again, it's just those things where you have to take it one step at a time.
Yep.
And
they're kind of in a no-win situation right now. So, you can at least try to take what you can from this year and see how you can improve on it in the coming years. Because, a lot of what they're doing now is stuff that NASCAR fans have asked for. A lot of it is stuff that fans have been spoken out against. So, definitely we have a good opportunity here to test different options out.
Mm-hmm.
And, we can also see what works best for everybody now.
Yeah. I firmly believe NASCAR will take the necessary precautions, and I will think they will do everything in their power to make sure that they are doing the right thing. So, again, we'll play it by day, and we'll see how this goes. Happy to hear racing is coming back. So, obviously, we weren't really sure when or if racing would come back yet, but now we know. So, and by the way, a little bit off topic, something else trending on Twitter. Space Jam 2 has a new logo, and the movie next year will be called Space Jam: A New Legacy. And going off of that, we were also talking about this before the show. They were planning different versions. Like, they were planning a movie called Race Jam that could have had Jeff Gordon star in the movie.
Man, that would have been awesome to see.
I would have loved it, because especially maybe Jeff
I
Gordon.
mean, he was in, I know he was in that one. I think it was called Back in Action, wasn't it?
Yep, Back in Action.
I know he made a cameo appearance in that one.
Yosemite Sam stole his race car, yeah.
Yeah, Space Jam 2 is Space Jam is still way better than Back in Action. I think everyone would agree on that.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. So once again, I hope everybody is. What's this? Okay, I just stumbled upon this. NASCAR Man. He on Racing Reference. I really enjoy his articles. He writes a bunch of historical motorsport stories.
Yep.
He just released this. It would be the greatest thing since axle grease, Kel Yarborough said on an indoor track. Brandt Park was a 1-mile indoor racetrack with a revolutionary ventilation system and located in a major market. Why did the plans fall apart? So I've actually heard about this story, or at least a little bit about it, once upon a time. And at one point, they wanted to build an indoor speedway in Pittsburgh.
Really?
What's that?
Really?
Yeah. I won't read through the whole thing. I'm going to at least try and just skim through some interesting things here. I'm going to go on the fly here. So, excuse me. The idea was great. It could be raining outside, but NASCAR is racing safely under a roof. It could be 15 degrees in January, but IndyCar is competing in warmth indoors. In 1999, a man from West Virginia named Ted Brandt announced his plans to build a 1-mile racetrack in Pittsburgh with a roof over it. So what went wrong? Ted Brandt was the chairman CEO of BFAS Corp, an aviation company based in Pennsylvania. Described in newspapers as a soft-spoken bear of a man. He made millions of dollars in the airplane business by maintaining planes, selling jet fuel, and other related service work for private jets. While he was a successful businessman, he also loved auto racing. He actually became an associate sponsor here of Richard Childress Racing, and he even formed Brandt Motorsports in the Indy Racing League with a car driven by Andy. Okay, I hope I pronounced the last name right. Andy Michner, maybe.
Oh, Andy Michner.
Michner, yeah, Andy Michner.
Yeah, I actually know him.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, he's a legendary midget racer.
Mhm. Hey, that might be someone to see if we can bring him in. Maybe he can talk about his experiences with this with Brandt too and all that. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
All right.
Could have.
Connected. Mhm. Oh, there's even a picture on here of him showing like a model of what the track would look like, and it looks like it would have been built next to the Pittsburgh airport, according to this. Kel Yarbrough even lended his endorsement on the project. He said it would be the greatest thing since axle grease. Drivers have talked about this for years, but I didn't know if we would ever see it. The announcement of Brandt Park came amid a nationwide surge in stadium construction. 2 weeks earlier, the Pittsburgh Pirates broke ground on their now current ballpark, PNC Park. 2 months later, the Steelers broke ground on their new Heinz Field. PNC Park cost $216 million, while Heinz Field cost $281 million. At the same time, Chicagoland Speedway was built in Illinois for $130 million. In contrast, cost estimates for Brandt Park were around $300 million, which is any more a fraction of the price for a current NFL stadium. Anyway, this track will be revolutionary but wildly expensive. Most of the cost was devoted to the installation of a complex air filtration and sound deadening system that would ventilate the exhaust and also reduce the deafening sound of 43 cars racing at 150 miles an hour in a large building. Because I think that's definitely like a huge issue to why we don't have indoor racetracks like that, is because the loud cars and the exhaust. I think that's always been a huge issue.
Oh yeah, I mean earlier this year, when I did the Shamrock Classic, when I got eliminated, I went in to sit and just watch the rest of the races. And, dude, the fumes get to you. They were getting to me in the car.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do it. It's got to be in the right spot.
Yeah, it's got to be in the right spot, and it's just got to be something that's done right.
The Chili Bowl, if you see the place where they do that, that place is huge.
Yeah.
Fumes really shouldn't be that big of an issue there. But you go someplace like the Southern Illinois Center or the Rumble in Fort Wayne, I've heard of them having the red flag races because teams have just gotten too bad.
Wow. Let's see. Initially, the track would hold 60,000 spectators, but the design allowed for an additional 60,000 seats to be added if needed. A restaurant would overlook the track, while its main purpose was auto racing. The massive building had many uses, such as aircraft exhibits, concerts, and trade shows. The Allegheny County Department of Economic Development estimated that it could generate $180 million per year to the region's income, and as many as 6,700 jobs could have been created. Now, of course, when you build a stadium, you Another thing is, how are you going to pay for it? Unlike stadiums for other major sports that are taxpayer-funded, the NFL, the construction of Brandt Park would be privately funded. They tried to find investors and wanted to raise money by selling naming rights to the track, seat licenses, and luxury boxes. Money was a hurdle, so was getting government approval. The track was next to the Pittsburgh International Airport. They need to have approval from the FAA, which is something that when the Rams announced they were moving back to Los Angeles, they actually had an issue building their SoFi Stadium, that's going to be called. They had an issue with the FAA trying to build it. They expect the government to move slowly so that the official groundbreaking would be scheduled sometime in late 2000. Let's see. Okay, this is interesting. End of 1999, apparently Brandt Motorsports also became co-owners with Richard Childress, the number 21, driven by Mike Dillon at the time. Oh, this is interesting. Meanwhile, they were being sued by their original IRL driver, Andy Michener, as you just mentioned. He was seeking $100,000 in damages because he was fired 3 races into a 3-year contract and was replaced by veteran driver Raul Boesel. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, Raul Boesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
While waiting for government approval and investor support, the track was sidetracked by tragedy. June 28, 2000, Ted Brandt died of a heart attack at the age of 53. Bob Brandt, his brother, would take over project leadership and vowed to build the track in memory of his brother. He said at the time that the track would move forward and across the finish line, its success will be a tribute to Ted's leadership and contributions. By December 2000, it was clear they were behind schedule. The target date to break ground had passed, and they still had not gotten government approval. And then, the first major sign of progress was April 4th, 2001, when the FAA issued their report that the construction would have no significant impact on the environment. At the time of the clearance, Brandt claimed they had 80% of the money needed for the construction, but throughout the summer, Brandt Park suffered many setbacks. The estimated cost of construction grew to $400 million, and with the economy slowing down, investors for this project were harder to find. In October, it was announced that the county would not renew the lease with Brandt Motorsports. The loss of Ted Brandt hurt the project from a leadership standpoint. Maybe it would have been different if he was still alive, but they couldn't secure enough money to build the track. While plans fell apart, the track project didn't officially die in Pennsylvania. In January 2002, 2 counties in Ohio announced they were spending $60,000 to study the feasibility of building the track there. Trumbull and Mahanoy counties were on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. Moving the site a few miles was a possibility. Moving the site west a few miles was a possibility, but no other further announcements were made, and the Ohio plans quietly disappeared. It was supposed to be the track of the future. Unfortunately, Brandt Park is just a story from the past. You can check out this article on Racing Reference and look for historical motorsport stories written by NASCAR men. So, interesting. What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, honestly, I've always thought, man, it'd be cool if we had an indoor track, for NASCAR. Same time I get the logistics of it, probably wouldn't make that possible, at least not for now. Because, you look at all the teams that do it now, it's all dirt racing. Or, if it's like concrete racing, it's the smaller cars. So, logistically, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be figured out before that can go forward. It would be awesome to see that if they could somehow work that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool concept if it's built right. Obviously, I think what drove costs up were trying to figure out a way of how you can like the sound deafening system and the or sound deadening system, I said, and the ventilation from the exhaust. I think that probably is a huge issue, and of course. They were trying to get private funding for it, which I heavily appreciate that they tried to do that because obviously living near Cincinnati, I think a lot of football fans know about the situation with Paul Brown Stadium. Of course, a lot of stadiums being, taxpayer funded, and I know a lot of people are against that. But again, this is I heard about this, but I didn't know the full story, so I'm really intrigued by this. So if y'all want to read this, find NASCAR Man on Twitter, give him a follow. He's posted a lot of other interesting stories. Considering talk about racetracks that could have been, fun fact, our current president actually once wanted to build a NASCAR track. I think we might have, I don't know if we talked about that before, but he said it would be the tallest building in the world of racetracks or something like that.
Yeah, that was actually the first time I had ever heard the name Donald Trump.
Really?
When I learned about that track. Yeah. Because I read it in a book back when I was in, 5th grade or something like that. So I really didn't know much about the world of business or anything like that. I just remember seeing that in a book with a picture of Trump and Bill Francis Jr. standing next to each other with the diagram of the track. If you had told me that guy would have been president now, I wouldn't have known what the hell to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I had, known about his name on and off, but the first time that I truly, paid attention to how he was his WrestleMania arc with Vince McMahon. That was when they had a bet that they would pick a wrestler, and whoever lost got their head shaved. This was WrestleMania 23. This was 2007. Trump ended up winning. McMahon got his head shaved. Fun fact, McMahon and Trump are actually really good friends. And Stone Cold Steve Austin even gave Trump the Stone Cold Stunner. And I was watching that a while back going, man, he's our president now. Who would have thought back then? He's the first president in U.S. history to receive the Stone Cold Stunner. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So I always love reading stories like that and just can't help but think, oh, man, what could have been? So I really love stories like that.
All right, looks like Vargas is coming on.
Oh, sweet. Hey, Ryan.
Ryan Vargas. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, man?
You guys got me? Hey.
Yeah, we got you.
Sorry about getting caught off there. I always try to write these things in my planner, and, I kind of haven't used the planner the last couple months for, Corona reasons, so my apologies there.
Oh, no worries.
Dude, I swear, I used to buy a planner every year, and I just ended up never using it. So.
Yeah. No, like I said, I apologize. That's very unlike me, so I apologize there.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Welcome aboard, Ryan. Glad to have you on. We were actually just talking about an article that NASCAR Man posted about an indoor racetrack that could have been built in Pittsburgh.
That's awesome. I used to watch old Arena Racing USA videos and stuff like that with those little kid cards. So that's very funny.
Oh, yeah, man. I always wanted to run one of those mini cup cars back, just because that was such a fun track to run with those.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a metal oval. It looked stupid, but in a fun way.
Yeah, I mean every time I see a car get spun out on those, they always end up going flipping because they just grip that metal surface so good.
Yeah.
So, you remember the old NASCAR EA Sports games? They ought to build the replica of Dodge Raceway Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Well, Dodge Raceway Stadium was a replica of Bowman Gray Stadium, I think. So we kind of already have that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the closest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the racing there is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still go back and watch the old video of the K&N races from there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see a race there at some point. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right. So we got Ryan Vargas in here. K&N Pro East driver, ran some Xfinity races last year. Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into auto racing.
Yeah, so I'm originally from LA. I never really was into other sports. I played basketball, baseball, a little bit of football, and I just grade A sucked at all of those. And I just really liked cars. I liked off-road trucks, NASCAR, Monster Jam. If it had four wheels and a motor, I loved it. And so when I found out that kids could start racing at a very young age and I happened to know someone who had a car, a little Bandolero, and I found out that they were going to sell it. It just it made sense to go for it, and when we decided to go chase it, my dad told me, he said, if we're going to do this, we're going to be champions, and I completely understood that, and after the first year, we were already the state champion, so just from there, we've moved up, ran street stocks, late models, super lates, ARCA cars, and now Xfinity, and I'm living out here in Huntersville, North Carolina, so just really enjoying myself and just taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, I was supposed to get started in Bandoleros about 10 years ago. They used to run those weekly at Kentucky Speedway, but that's our home track. So we just got in touch with everybody we could there, and we were about to get started. And then the year before we were going to get started, they ended the program. So that kind of set us back.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how it went for us. We bought our Bando trying to race Irwindale Speedway, and that happened to be the year that Irwindale was closed. So we had to go run the Bull Ring in Vegas and all over the West Coast just to race.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what would have been cool is, if you see Diego Alvarado's videos, the Cal Speed or SoCal series, I think it would have been awesome to just put on a race in the parking lot there.
Yep, they run that out of Auto Club Speedway in their parking lot, and it's a pretty sweet racetrack. They do a lot of racing out there, so Diego's a good buddy of mine. He does that all the time, and as well as the Heat Pro League, so he's a real good dude.
Yeah, you could run a Bandolero on there, I think.
I don't think they ran bandos there. I think it's just strictly their karting league as well as the rental cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I think you could.
Oh yeah, I mean they're small enough.
Yeah. All right, I'll put an oval in there.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Road race them.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And obviously you started making Xfinity starts last season, running at Iowa, Road America, and Phoenix. What was that like for you? Was that a big step moving forward in your career? And what did you learn from racing the Xfinity Series?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest jump I've made in my career. It was pretty much fresh out of running K&N East, now the ARCA East. And, if you know me, you know that, my ride in that series kind of got washed away, unfortunate circumstances due to the team having to fold one of their 3 cars that left me without a ride. So there was a big question mark in my head going into that race. I was really worried. I wouldn't say worried. I was definitely nervous. I thought a lot to myself, do I belong out here? That was a thing that, I'd struggled with since I lost that ride. And, I was very fortunate to come back after losing it and get a couple wins in late model racing and really prove to myself that I belong racing, in a race car. But a late model is a different race car than an Xfinity race car. When you're racing Xfinity, you're racing in the National Series. And I knew running for Johnny Davis would be the perfect opportunity for me to go out there, be kind of low-key, but also be able to have the car underneath me that I can go out there and run as good as I can. And, we ran inside the top 15 for a majority of the race and really just kept all the fenders on it and kept it clean and finished 17th. And I say it all the time, that was by far the best race I've ever had in my career. No matter how many late model wins or K&N, good finishes or whatever, championships, that race will forever be probably the best race I've ever ran. Just because of how much I had to learn. I had to learn about keeping the car underneath me, playing a safe race, not falling out of the seat. It definitely gets hot in those cars, so you have to be not just mentally there, but physically. And it was just a really good day. I learned a lot, impressed a lot of people, I hope, and I had my grandma and grandpa above watching that race, so it was overall a really good day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Jamie sounds like one of the best guys to really get your start for. I mean, I have so many friends who gotten their start with them either as a crew member or as a driver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Johnny Davis Motorsports, they're a really good organization. They get the most they can out of their cars, and every time I go there, I just absolutely have a blast, just learning as much as I can about these cars and how they kind of go about business there. We all know Johnny Davis Motorsports, that we're not a top team in the series, but we always say that if there was no JD, there'd be no Xfinity series, because it's such a JD is one of the lifelines of the Xfinity series, and a lot of great names have come from their team and have built their way up. And I'm very fortunate to have raced for Johnny, and hopefully working on doing some more stuff. And it's just a really good opportunity, and I've just really enjoyed every bit of it.
I agree. I think of course, JD Motorsports is not one of the most dominating teams, but it's still a team that is well established, and I think it's a great team for a lot of guys to get their start, like you said. I think you make a really good point there.
Yeah, our cars are still really good too. We ran, like I said, we ran upwards of inside the top 15 and battled with a lot of really good cars. I raced door to door with Josh Williams, Brandon Brown, and Michael Annett. I was racing with those guys in my first start, and that just meant a lot to me to go out there and race against those names. So it's, when all the cards align, you could have a really good day.
Yeah, man. It's a pretty sweet deal, dude.
Yeah, it was a blast for sure.
Yeah, that's the team I'm probably going to have to get in contact with, as I think I become ready for that level. Right now I'm just kind of trying to focus on getting this ARCA deal I've got working on, getting that worked out. Maybe a year or two down the road, who knows, maybe I see what I can do about that.
Yeah, man, there you go. I've enjoyed it, so it's definitely a lot of work, and I'm very fortunate to have made it this far. So very lucky, and it's just been a blast.
I certainly love hearing stuff like that. And, of course, with everything going on right now, obviously, we just heard that NASCAR is coming back. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you've been very excited to hear about that. I know you're looking forward to getting back in the wheel. How do you feel about NASCAR returning, and what are your racing plans for 2020?
Well, I'm very excited that NASCAR is returning. NASCAR is one of those sports where it has very big roots in not just, sports, but in, American culture. And I think, having something to come back and to, keep our minds off of what's going on, that's what's going to be really key. And I really just applaud NASCAR and all their efforts with keeping all the guidelines in place and making sure that, we're all there to do our job, but at the end of the day, we're all staying healthy. And as for me, we're still working on our plans and getting everything finalized, and hopefully soon, knock on wood, we'll be able to announce everything. So, just taking it day by day and learning as much as I can, not just from the driving side, but from the business side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been hard, man, just because, as a fellow driver myself, it's hard to find sponsorship, in this situation. You have so many companies that are closing down in it that can't really even consider that right now. So, yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, especially during this time. It's a very tough time for companies and, organizations to really put that dollar in. But, everything has a silver lining. And right now, we know we're coming back to racing. So, it's all about, going full steam ahead and working and, facing those tasks head on.
Yeah, I think something I always definitely worried when this all broke out, and obviously the economy's been heavily impacted, and I think sponsorships might be difficult, but I know that obviously when there's a will, there's a way, and hopefully things will get back up and running again, and these companies will be fine, and hopefully some more sponsorship opportunities can definitely come for guys like you and people in NASCAR.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. We've made it this far with a whole lot less than many others, so I'm just very glad to have made it this far, and I'm really excited to keep chasing this dream.
Certainly. And of course,
never stop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you can do.
iRacing. Obviously, both of you are big into iRacing. Obviously, Ryan, you were able to get together some pretty big events. Can you tell people about that?
Yeah, we set up me, my buddies John Palmieri and Austin Blair. We put together what's called E-Truck Series Night in America, and we were able to get some really big names ranging from NHRA champions to past NASCAR champions to World of Outlaws to you name it. We had people racing in it, and it was a great thing to put on. And one thing that we also took a lot of pride in was having the fans race in it. That was a big one for us too, was letting the fans be able to have their opportunity to race against these people. And in both events, in the first event we had 300 people sign up within 2 hours, and then to kind of combat that, we put a $5 quote unquote entry fee, even though we didn't keep any of that money. It all went to Project Hope for COVID-19 relief. But even then, we still had 230 people sign up for the second one. So that was over $1,000 raised for charity, and we were able to bring 300 people and 220 both times down to 20, and that was something that we're very proud of. And every time those people who made the race, coming through those qualifiers, they deserve their spot, and it led to some really good racing. And the last race, we had a door-begging finish between Zach Novak and Malik Ray, and it's been a little bit of a Coke Series dominated series so far, but we've had a lot of comers and goers. We've had some Road to Pro guys, some real life racers. Colin Fern, one of the PR guys in the Xfinity Series, he went out and led a bunch of laps. So I mean, this is definitely something that if you think you have the talent to do so or the capabilities on iRacing, you can go in, and if you make the show, you have just as equal of a chance to win the race as everybody else.
You say so far. Does that mean we can expect a round 3?
Oh, you're definitely going to see a round 3. We're definitely putting together plans for round 3. We've learned what we need to work on from the first 2 rounds, and we're going to start cleaning some things up and making sure that everybody who gets in has a clean race to get in. Richmond was a little bit of a rough one. We're going to work on some different formats for depending on the track size and stuff like that. So, just things to keep an eye on for us, and we'll definitely be building upon it and learning from it.
All right, so I'll have to keep a watch out for that. I'll definitely be entering. Finally got all my issues figured out, so
yeah,
it'll be a good one.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that thank you for putting those on. I think it's a terrific idea. It's especially during tough times like these. I think it's great that you're able to put something like that together. You give people something to watch. I sure have enjoyed those races, and I'm looking forward to seeing more down the road, and really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to bring the community together, not just the racing community, but every other community as well. You have World of Outlaws, NHRA, off-road, you name it. We had so many different racers from all different walks of life enter these races. So it really means a lot to be able to have the respect of so many people, from the sim racing world and the real racing world. So it's just a neat platform that we've been able to put together.
Mm-hmm. All right. Michael, do you have any questions for Ryan?
Something I did just want to say, just because I don't think we touched on this when we were going over it, is that NASCAR is going to be one of the first major sports to be back from this whole deal. So think of how good that's going to be for the sport.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I even saw this. Yeah, I mean, I even saw this in the comments of that CNN article where everybody was talking about, oh, it's for a bunch of rednecks. Man, NASCAR's so immoral. A bunch of them were saying, I'll watch it just for the live competition part. Well, I guarantee you, some of those people who watch it just for that, they're going to leave the TV, not thinking the same thing they thought before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand their concerns and stuff like that, and I'm very much against, getting, mass gatherings and stuff like that. The virus is definitely something to take serious, and I'm making sure you stay home and stay safe and stay clean. That's all really important, especially right now. But NASCAR, with their guidelines that they're putting in place and making sure that everybody who goes into the track is checked and is safe, and then also just making sure that everybody maintains the social distancing rules and regulations, I think that's going to be a really big thing. And I think, I believe NASCAR is going to really just be setting the standard for all major sports leagues in America.
Yeah, I agree. I think NASCAR is making a big statement, and I agree with you. I think they are setting a status quo. So, Yeah, I mean, it's less than 3 weeks away, so racing will be back before we know it. So really excited to start back on the track.
Yep, it's going to be a blast. I'm excited to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm excited for racing to be back.
Yeah. So just something interesting here that Jenna Fryer just posted. Darlington will have a virtual invocation, virtual national anthem, and virtual marshal starting the engines.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm sure they're going to find some, different ways to get the pre-race, put together and going for each race. Obviously, you're not going to have many people there in terms of, pre-race or whatever they do. So it's going to be really it's going to be really interesting to see how NASCAR combats all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All righty. Let's see. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about or cover?
Ryan, anything you need to go over?
That's pretty much it. I mean, we've been running all the Pro Invitational stuff like that, getting ready for that. We have a practice race here tonight, so just had a lot of fun running with Cranial Care Bears and the Faces, the National Craniofacial Association on the car. 2 organizations that I hold really dear to me, and being a person who's had craniosynostosis, it's a very big thing to be able to represent that community. So really glad to have them on the car and keep raising awareness.
Hey, man.
That's awesome.
That's a great dude. Trying to use this platform you have and give back. That's kind of how I've always seen it, is that, if you have this sort of influence and yet you're not using it for anything good, what's the point?
Exactly. I've been very blessed to have a platform to, tell my story and tell other stories. So, I better use it to spread good. And that's, my plan with everything.
Mm-hmm. All righty. I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. If that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. It's great to have you on. Great talking to you.
Man.
Yeah. No, yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was fun. I always love doing these things, so if you guys ever need someone else to come on, or if you guys ever want to do another interview, let me know. I'm more than happy to. Again, sorry for the delay. Like I said, I just never was able to put anything down in my planner, so
you're fine.
Especially since I haven't looked at my planner in the last few months, so definitely just working on keeping all that in order.
It's all good. Yeah, appreciate you having me on. We'll definitely have you back on. Once again, I'll keep doing this probably at the end of every show every episode from now on. Just a big hearts out, all hearts out to those on the front lines right now, first responders, the nurses, and essential workers. God bless every single one of y'all. I know it's been a rough situation. You all have been amazing people, and we're praying for you. We're thinking about you, and we're also thinking about those who have been affected with the COVID-19 virus. Our thoughts are with you and your families, and obviously we're thinking about you. So we'll get through this together. Signs of hope are coming, and it all starts with this. Racing will be back soon. So once again, this is the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour here on The Grueling Truth. Thank you, Ryan and Michael, for coming on as always. I'm Alex Gray, and we will see you next time.
All right.